Last night I saw myself. Not a reflection, but a living, breathing replica. My heart pounded, a drum against my ribs. This was not possible. Yet, there he stood. The city throbbed around us, a cacophony of car horns and distant sirens. Rain slicked the pavement, reflecting the neon signs of all-night diners and liquor stores. The air hung heavy with the smell of exhaust fumes and damp asphalt. As we walked through the streets, the neon lights cast an eerie glow, painting everything in shades of electric blue and crimson red. The city seemed alive, pulsating with an energy that was both exhilarating and unsettling. The neon signs flickered, some buzzing with a faint hum, as if whispering secrets of the night. Each sign told a story, the all-night diner promising warmth and comfort, the liquor store offering a brief escape from reality. The rain continued to fall, each drop adding to the symphony of the city, creating ripples in the puddles that mirrored the vibrant lights above. We passed by shadowy figures huddled under awnings, their faces illuminated by the neon glow. They were the night dwellers, the ones who thrived in the darkness, finding solace in the anonymity it provided. The city at night was a different world, one where the rules of the day no longer applied. It was a place of mystery and intrigue, where every corner held a new secret waiting to be discovered. The smell of street food wafted through the air, mingling with the scent of rain and exhaust. Vendors called out, their voices blending into the urban symphony. The steam from their carts rose up, catching the neon light and creating a surreal, almost dreamlike atmosphere. It was a sensory overload, a feast for the eyes, ears, and nose. As we continued our journey, the city revealed its many faces. There were moments of beauty, a couple sharing a quiet moment under a neon sign, the reflection of lights in a rain-soaked street creating a kaleidoscope of colors. But there were also moments of sadness, a homeless man seeking shelter in a doorway, the tired eyes of a late-night worker heading home. The city was a living, breathing entity, full of contradictions. It was a place of dreams and despair, of hope and hopelessness. The neon lights were its heartbeat, a constant reminder of its relentless energy. As we walked, we couldn't help but feel a part of it, drawn into its rhythm, captivated by its allure. The night wore on, and the city showed no signs of slowing down. The neon lights continued to glow, casting their eerie light on everything they touched. It was a world unto itself, a place where time seemed to stand still, and the possibilities were endless. The city throbbed around us, a cacophony of car horns and distant sirens. Rain slicked the pavement, reflecting the neon signs of all-night diners and liquor stores. The air hung heavy with the smell of exhaust fumes and damp asphalt. He stood across the street, our eyes locking across the crowded intersection. Same unruly hair, same crooked smile, same birthmark above the left eyebrow. It was like looking into a mirror, except the reflection moved independently. Fear coiled in my gut, cold and sharp. But curiosity, a relentless siren, drew me closer. Who was this echo of me, this phantom twin? I had to know. I stepped off the curb, weaving through the human traffic. The city was alive with the hum of neon lights and the distant murmur of conversations. Each step I took felt like a journey into the unknown, a path that could lead to revelation or ruin. The streets were a maze of shadows and light, each corner hiding secrets, each alley whispering tales of the past. As I moved deeper into the heart of the city, the air grew thicker, charged with an electric tension. My mind raced with questions. Was this doppelganger a figment of my imagination, or something more sinister? The thought sent shivers down my spine, but I couldn't turn back now. The pull of curiosity was too strong, an invisible thread drawing me ever closer to the truth. I passed by faces that seemed familiar yet distant, each one a potential clue in this unfolding mystery. The neon signs above flickered, casting eerie glows on the wet pavement. It felt as if the city itself was alive, watching, waiting. My heart pounded in my chest, a steady drumbeat of anticipation and dread. Suddenly I saw a figure in the distance, standing under a flickering streetlight. Their silhouette was hauntingly familiar. like looking into a distorted mirror. I hesitated for a moment, fear and curiosity warring within me, but the need to understand, to uncover the truth pushed me forward. I approached slowly, my breath catching in my throat. As I drew nearer, the figure turned, and our eyes met. It was like staring into my own soul, a reflection of my deepest fears and desires. The world seemed to hold its breath, the noise of the city fading into the background. In that moment, I knew that this encounter would change everything. The whispers of curiosity and fear had led me here to this pivotal point, and now, there was no turning back. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice a dry rasp. He smiled, a chillingly familiar expression. "Wouldn't you like to know?" His voice was my own, yet different, laced with an unsettling echo. "How is this possible?" I whispered, my mind reeling. He tilted his head, his eyes boring into mine. "What makes you so sure this is possible?" His words hung in the air, heavy with implication. He turned then, melting into the crowd. I stood there, frozen, the echo of his question reverberating through me. What if this wasn't a trick of the light, a figment of my imagination? What if it was something more? The city around me seemed to blur, the lights and sounds merging into a cacophony that felt both distant and overwhelming. I tried to focus, to ground myself in the reality I knew, but the more I thought about it, the more elusive it became. I remembered the way his eyes had looked, piercing and filled with a knowledge that seemed ancient and profound. It was as if he had seen through the very fabric of my being, unraveling the threads of my existence with a single glance. The question he had posed lingered in the air, heavy and unsettling. What if everything I had ever known was just a facade, a carefully constructed illusion designed to keep me complacent? As I stood there, the crowd moving around me like a river flowing past a rock, I felt a growing sense of unease. The faces of the people seemed to blur together, their expressions vacant and devoid of meaning. It was as if they were all part of some grand charade, actors in a play whose script I had never seen. The more I thought about it, the more I began to question the very nature of reality itself. Could it be that the world I had always taken for granted was nothing more than a mirage, a fleeting shadow cast by some unseen hand? The thought was both terrifying and exhilarating, a tantalizing glimpse into a realm of possibilities I had never dared to consider. I felt a strange sense of liberation, as if the chains of my perception had been shattered, allowing me to see the world in a new light. But with this newfound clarity came a sense of dread. If everything I had ever known was a lie, then what was the truth? And more importantly, who or what was behind the illusion? The questions swirled in my mind, each one more perplexing than the last. I knew that I couldn't go back to the way things were, that the veil had been lifted and there was no unseeing what I had seen. As I walked through the city, the buildings towering above me like silent sentinels, I felt a sense of determination growing within me. I had to find the answers, to uncover the truth behind the facade. The journey ahead was uncertain, fraught with danger and uncertainty, but I knew that I couldn't turn back. The reality I had known was shattered, and in its place was a world of infinite possibilities waiting to be explored. The city noises seemed to fade, replaced by a deafening silence. I looked down at my hands, questioning their solidity, my own existence. Was I still me? Or had something shifted, irrevocably altered? I walked home, each step heavy with uncertainty. The encounter replayed in my mind, his question echoing in the silence. "Who are you?" It wasn't just him asking, it was me, questioning the very fabric of my reality.